Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Amen Ashe show. I'm more like tongue tied. What's up, Ashe?
Salutations, Ashe. How are you?
I'm good. It's been so long, I forgot the dang show. What the title of the show is called.
The Amen Ashe show.
Okay, but we back. We back in full effect. And it is definitely in good timing since October is on its way on up in here. And what is it? Halloween and a few other very important Day of the Dead and so many other important, basically occult, celebrations and events and festivities that will be happening, from now until November till December type of thing. So I'm really excited to have you back with me.
Yes, yeah. And it's autumn, fall time.
Yes.
This is like the most favorite time for a lot of us. Like it's, the harvest time. It's when the trees are dying off and things are just dying off and getting ready for it to become new during the springtime. But we love fall or autumn. We use it interchangeably because it's just a really magical season. It's a season of the holidays, like you were saying, and I think that the essence of those holidays is a really magical time. So yes, jumping right into things.
I know, and it's funny. I was just talking to my mother about being in a period in my life where I did not celebrate Halloween. I was very adamant against it, for myself celebrating it, and then going into a period in which I didn't care, and I was just, hey, I'm going to dress up, I'm going to have fun, you only live once. And now I'm at the stage in my life where I truly have learned so much about the energy of this time to the point where I don't shun it, but I look at it as an opportunity to use the energies that are available to us for our own benefit, to our own will. So I've been growing a lot in that sense where I'm more welcoming of the energies. That's just, what they're here for, what we can do with them.
Yes, I totally concur with that. And if you think about it, I think it's almost our 1 year anniversary, if we think about it, because our beginning shows was around this time. It started around when we did our show about Halloween and it being the day that the veil is what's the thinnest between the material and the spiritual world. Yes,
it is our 1 year anniversary.
Hey, happy 1 year anniversary!
We should have some champagne or something.
Yes, our next show we're gonna have some champagne. We're gonna try to do our shows more regularly, and I do have to take accountability for some of the shows and being absent from some of the shows and taking the time away. But we do have to get our shows out more regularly because our content is valuable and it's important, and people do want to hear it, and people do need to hear it, and it needs to be out there. So without further ado, Miss Ashe and our 1 year anniversary.
And since it is, I can kind of explain the title before we get into our topics, because our topics are going to be pretty heavy hitting. I know we got a lot to talk about, especially speaking on Beyonce and this whole witchcraft trial she's on right now, speaking on Bill Cosby, and just the whole entertainment industry and the occultism within the entertainment industries and its vast forms of media. We have a lot to talk about. But, just quickly hitting on that anniversary point, when we talk about Amen and Ashe, it's essentially the same energy behind the word. It's just a different meaning and a different culture that it stems from. So with the Amen, it's very Western, we know. It's very Latin in the sense that it came from a Christian background, or, we assume it came from a Christian background. But really, when we say it in agreement with each other, that we are agreeing upon something that is, major, or something that it goes beyond saying, oh yeah, go ahead, preach. It goes beyond that. You got to say amen.
Deriving from Amen Ra.
Amen.
Which was,
which
was the sun god.
Yes.
Amen Ra,
yes.
which you gave worship and reverence to, and taking that to that was a residual from that spirituality system that a lot of people don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
That Amen came with us throughout the Kemet science, command science, and through the enslavement of African people, and it became a word to say, yeah, like you were saying, mo to be, so it be. This I put this energy, which is a derivative of ashe, like I put this energy into. This is my life force. Amen. Is a life force. Amen Ra was a life force, like the given life force is what you say and what you speak into this universe, and that we understand that our words do carry power, and then with that added life force, ashe, then we're gonna put it out into the universe.
It's like a period at the end of a sentence. It's like it completes, whatever you are sending forth, because we have the creative power, and that's essentially what we're talking about when we name the show. The Amen Ashe show is giving reverence to both those things that we come from as Black people in America. We come from, African state of spiritual systems and mindset, and as well as something that has mutated here in America, from our Christian, upbringing and that was placed upon us, and how we use that in combination with our African, what we was able to
the residuals,
and
seeing that a lot of the way that we worship is ingrained in Africa. A lot of the our spiritualness that we have even in the church comes from Africa, and our African side. It's just residuals, things that we held on throughout the enslavement process, throughout the Mafa process. And the Mafa is experienced over 400 years to oppress and to humiliate us and to bring us down as a people. Right. So in saying that, to say is they attacked our spiritual side first, our spirituality first, and that's what they did. They attacked our spirits and broke down our spirits first. So in order to heal, in order to rebuild ourselves, and that's what we have to connect to first, is our spirits, and we have to reclaim and to start to heal our spirits and to start to connect to our spirits, because even living in the city, it drains us from our connection to our spirit, because spirit is all in nature, but which is like, rambling, but
but you speaking straight truth. We have a lot of videos, y'all, that we have to get out to y'all. As y'all can see, we got a lot of information that we've been downloading from the time that, we have been gone. Yes. We weren't just not doing anything. We were definitely downloading. Yes. That was a lot of information. Yes. You're like, what is they doing? That was a head clap. Sometimes you gotta, physically agree. But yes, just to give y'all a little background on the title of the show and why we use that. I know some people might be wondering, why would you mix those two? And it has a purpose to it and meaning. But
because in reality, what we're doing is we are connecting our religiosity with our spirituality, our Christianity with our African spirituality. Because one is what they strip from us, and then the other is what they introduced to us and we held on through to get us through. Right. So we cannot forget one, or we can't have one without the other. And the African American experience. Now, the continental African experience may be different. The Caribbean African experience may be a little different, but in a sense that's what it was. Just it's not different in the sense that it's different than we all different, but it's a sense of, okay, this is the experience that they had, and this has been a part of our experience. To hold on to our essence,
but to also be able to know how to move past and beyond it, because our ancestors they use Christianity as a way to hold on to it secretively, as
to mask it.
A safety thing that they had to do. But now that we are safe, of course we're not all free. But some of us is physically free, but mentally is still enslaved. Yeah. So, but now that we are in a different state, we have to evolve. Not necessarily let go. It's not really the word I was looking for, but more so evolve.
Yeah, build on a foundation. That's what we have to do. Build on a foundation and continue to build.
And to recognize what Christianity, as well as other forms of religion, we're not picking on Christianity. This is all forms of religion, that we are supposed to evolve beyond that. That it's not that. That's just a ritual thing to do here on earth to help you ascend, but it's not your end all be all, you know. And that's the hard part for a lot of us, and that's the important part, is that we are able to ascend beyond that, because all that religion stuff holds you earthly bound. It really does, especially when you are abiding by earthly laws and rules and ways of being. It's like it's kind of being trapped to your lower man.
Mm-hmm. To the egotistical carnal self.
Yes, that's your lower man. That's your root chakra. That's even your sacral chakra. That's even your solar plexus. Like that's your lower self. You're supposed to not only ascend to your higher self, to your crown, get to your heart, and get through that, and get to that crown and all the other ones. And of course, you have to go through the throat and so forth. But to ascend to that higher place, but you're supposed to be able to bring them both, all of them, to balance. All of them. You can't just leave them. That's you know, that's the part of the evolution. Is that something comes along the way. It just evolves up. It ascends to higher.
It keeps going.
You know what I'm saying?
It don't stop. You
don't stay stagnant in that. You know, and that's definitely what we're experiencing now. And as we approach Scorpio season, and right now in Libra season, is that balancing of how do you balance your lower man with your higher self, your, you know, cardinal thinking and mentality with your, you know, higher man, higher virtue, a virtuous person, you know, and what is that, you know? But anyways, we don't over here talking. Which one do you want to get to first?
I guess we can get up into this Beyonce and witchcraft thing. So let's give you a little bit of the backstory. A female drummer has accused Beyonce of extreme witchcraft, casting spells on her and killing her cat. And there's a whole heap of people who are treating this bizarre accusation with the utmost seriousness. The allegations have been made by Kimberly Thompson, a drummer, and court documents obtained by The Blast. Says she's worked for Beyonce for 7 years and accuses her of dark magic and magical spells of sexual molestation. This is taken from the Daily Beast, an article by Tom Sykes. So, without further ado, getting into this. Beyonce expressed one thing I must start off by saying, anytime they start anything about witchcraft or anything like that, they always have it with a negative connotation. They want to say that, okay, she's doing extreme witchcraft, casting spells, and she has even killed her cat, and sexual molestation. All those negative connotations go with witchcraft. So it's just like y'all perpetuating another negative stereotype about witchcraft, about things that people don't really, that have an understanding but don't have an understanding of. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not understanding that this, like, these are actual people practices and stuff like that. Like, you know, people, like, you know, practice witchcraft and not with an intent to do evil or anything like that. But, you know, people do evil because there's the balance of everything in this world. Yeah. But Beyonce doing witchcraft.
Do you think?
I wouldn't put it past anybody.
Okay.
I wouldn't put it past Queen B. Like, she the queen. Yeah. Like, you know, she pulling down power from somewhere because she powerful. Like, she invoking some goddess or something. Yeah. Oshun, Yamaya, somebody. Hathor, Sekhmet, somebody. Isis. She fooling with somebody over there.
Okay. She's not ignorant. That's for sure.
And you know what? These people, what I notice about celebrities too, is they travel all around the world. Like, literally all around the world. So they see different cultures, learn about different things, like at a faster rate than what we do normally. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, so, like, Beyonce's been to Cuba. Cuba is a place that houses a lot of Santeria, a lot of, like, Condomble, a lot of, like, you know, Palo, a lot of all that. Like leukemia is there. You know, it's in Cuba. So she spent time there. So she's got that culture, and that's ingrained in the Cuban culture. That's ingrained in Puerto Rican culture. That's ingrained in Caribbean culture. Like, you get what I'm saying? No, like those things. Like that's it. Haiti, like Jamaica, all those places, they have those, like Obey and like, you know, voodoo and hoodoo and all these kind of, well, hoodoo is American, but this, what I'm saying to say is that they experience these things at a primary source. What I mean, firsthand. So they go to Cuba and they see the orishas and stuff and like that and being baptized, and they like, okay, well, what's that? Then they get a chance to interact with that and learn about that, and then they put it in their art, because in Daguerre cosmology in Burkina Faso and West Africa, the Daguerre tribe, spirit and art is the same word, basically. So spirit is so ingrained in the artwork that the art is not something you just hang up on the wall or something you just put in a museum. It's something that's functional, that you use, that comes from your spirit, that the spirit has brought you to make, basically, or you know, brought you to create, like, you know, it's all in there, like, you know. So yeah, but yeah, she is doing a little bit of the witchcraft. Like, you get what I'm saying? The Seven of the Cups tell me that she just because I pulled the cards, because I started shuffling the cards, they might hear that. But the Seven of the Cups tell me that she's working with a lot of illusionary magic and glamour magic and stuff like that. So she is, and not to say she's doing anything evil, but she is like dabbling in some of the arts, you know, like she's working it out. Like she's probably just practicing the ways of the high priestess and stuff like that. But it's something she has to keep hidden, because this is not something that she could just totally share with the world. It's like we were saying earlier, it's something that's like, you know, that we have to keep hidden from the world because people don't think we're doing evil stuff like that. So it's something that's blind to the world that she's holding on to. Yep. Something just, it's a power within her. It's a light that she has within herself. It's a knowledge that she has of herself, that she has done work and she's aware of who she is. She has done the hermitage work and stuff like that. And that light that her inner light is shining within herself. So yeah, she has magic that's surrounded all over her, but it's not something that she is just going to express solely to the world.
Respect it. Because she essentially, you know, really came into herself during a period of time where it just wasn't acceptable. Even the little stuff that she did do was like, oh my God, you know, she's Illuminati, she's all these terrible evil things, these evil entities, right? And she's working with the devil type of shit. And then now it's moving more into, oh, being a witch is fun. It's trendy. It's cool. It's, you know, the new hot thing to wear crystals and to do sigils and whatever on the floor and do all these. It's cool now, you know. Got
witch kits.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, like, you know, it's all good. And so now to be witchy is cool. Right. But when she was doing it at first, it was like, what the hell? Yeah. Like, no, she
was doing human sacrifices,
right?
And stuff like that, and stuff like that. People don't understand. You don't have to do human sacrifices no more. Jesus was the last human sacrifice. Yes, he did sacrifice himself for us, the atonement of our sins, and he was sacrificed, and that was the last human sacrifice. And we thank him for that, and we worship him for that, and we honor him for that, because he did. His blood was shed for the remissions of our sins. So, with that being said, ain't nobody doing no more human sacrifice.
So, you know, goddamn well, they over here sacrificing everything from the pig, cow, and chicken all the way to the baby, mama, and the daddy. These crazy ass white folks. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah. We not going to talk about them dancing because that's a whole nother topic. Now, you about to get me started. Yeah, they probably, no, okay, see. Nope, okay. Back to it. You're right about that. I forgot about them.
But I agree. She definitely. I would keep it, to myself too. I mean, most practitioners, keep it hidden. Mm-hmm. There's no need to be flamboyant with it. It's not meant for that. It's meant to do whatever you're trying to do in this world, whatever you're trying to create, whatever you're trying to do. Now,
and most of them is like the deacons and the reverends and the high people of your churches. But we ain't gonna go there. I digress. Okay.
But with her in this situation with this drummer, it's just weird to me that she would, and this is most likely my lack of knowledge when it comes to the judicial system and how the laws work when it comes to the spiritual realm. I do have, some base knowledge, but my whole question is, if she knows all this stuff about Beyonce and that she's supposedly doing all this witchcraft and things like that, why would you go to the courts? Like, what can the courts do?
Right. Oh, that's interesting. Like, why wouldn't you go to another spiritual practitioner? Like, fight fire with fire. I mean, not fire with fire, but fire with water.
These policemen can't do nothing to protect me.
Because you said she practicing extreme witchcraft. So what is extreme witchcraft, really?
And she said she went to a psychic. I saw her interview that she did. And she said she went to a psychic about her cat. Okay. So if you went to a psychic about your cat and found out that your cat had something on it that she called it this person or whatever, but you basically blaming Beyonce. Did you blaming Beyonce for putting something on your cat? And this psychic is telling you got to get rid of the cat.
And the courts denied her restraining order.
Because it's like, you're looking crazy.
Yes, they denied this lady Kimberly Thompson a restraining order against Beyonce. And I think that's one thing she is using as a part of her allegations is all the stuff about Beyonce being a part of the Illuminati, about her throwing up hand devil signals, demon signals, and things like that, which has never really been proven that it was part of a witchcraft or a satanic ritual or anything like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was never proven
at all. But still, like you said before, I put nothing past her.
That's anybody.
Hey, it's possible. But what can the courts do? That's my question. And so that's what makes me look at her a little kind of like,
Like, is she just trying to get all this in black and white so that she could potentially file a lawsuit, a monetary lawsuit, or... And
then in the same ground. Okay, number one, how you gonna prove it? Number two, Beyonce, I mean, she's not above universal law or, the universal principles. You know what I'm saying? If you send it out there and it's not justified, it's coming back. So why would she choose the drummer? What was so special about this particular woman that Beyonce wants to concentrate her energy on attacking you? Spiritually attacking you. That takes energy. That's not something to, scoff at. Mm-hmm. To really be attacking someone spiritually.
Yeah, because a lot of people just think that, like, oh, she just went all of a sudden. So they just think, excuse me, I do apologize. They think that just hexing is just like, oh, all of a sudden, I'm going to just go throw a hex on you. See, they don't understand that there's, like, spiritual laws to even witchcraft and doing these things. Like, so you just don't go say, oh, I'm going to put a hex on a drummer today. No. You go into preparation for this. Like, right. So you take 7 days of 7 days of purification, 7 days of cleansing, being in prayer, making sure that that the retributions that you're gonna send to this person, that they are guilty of the crime that they committed, because that's what a hex is. A hex is only something that you give into somebody because you know that you feel comfortable with receiving something, as well as what you would, the repercussions of doing something with the crime that they committed. Did I say that correctly? So I'll send a hex out to you because I feel like that is a befitting enough punishment for the crime that you committed. That if I committed that crime, this would be the same punishment that I would want myself to be granted as. Like, you get what I'm saying? Or something like that, as in a sense of like that. So you just don't just go around throwing hexes. And the people that do that, they don't know. Like, if I go, you might be well protected. Right. See, you might have took about 21 days of spiritual baths, protection baths. And I go ill will and throw a hex on you. You protected with protections all over you. You protected with reversals, with all kind of breakers and all kind of things. What's going on? So when I put my ill-willed hex, the one that's not thought up and planned right, it's gonna come back to me. My own work is gonna come back to me.
Right.
Because you have a reversal up, you got protections up, you got all these kind of things up. Like, you get what I'm saying? Right. So people don't know.
And you didn't even know how to
detect it. You went up ill informed.
Right.
And ill intentioned.
And
that
ill
wasn't
prepared.
And ill prepared. Thank you. The 3 ills. Ill informed, ill intentioned, and ill prepared. Write those down.
Don't be that.
And don't be that. And always know this is not about hexing people and doing all those kind of evil things to people. This is about, like, healing, and what you can use the power that the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, has innately placed in you, so that you can do those things. But you always have your self-protection. I can say that. Always put a protection in place for yourself.
That's true.
Because you are under spiritual attack at all times. You don't know it. That people give you the evil eye. People look at you envious and jealousy. That's the evil eye. People give you the evil eye without even knowing it sometimes, because they look at you like, who is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and all those different things. Like, that's the evil eye. So I'm saying that.
And letting the wrong spirits get upon them.
Yeah.
And if you're not even aware, it's going to get upon you. Now you got some bad effects happening in your whole world. Don't even know how it got up on you and how this got into your life and why this is happening. Because you over here willy-nilly and all through the world. And when I say the world, you can be in the same location your whole life. You still living in the world. And you in the world basically having these different spirits attach themselves to you because you're unaware, or I just don't see how I would be in that situation, even if I'm not a spiritually in tune person. Maybe I have just a little bit of knowledge. You got a little bit of knowledge if you go into a psychic. That's point blank. You can't fool me and say you don't know a little something. So how can you be even at that point and you not feeling from the get-go? You worked with her for I don't know how many years.
Right.
It wasn't just a year or two of working with her.
Why would you stick around for so long?
So long. I mean, there's just too many questions. Even as I'm not even looking at it as a legal standpoint. I can give a damn about the legal standpoint. I'm just looking at it from a spiritual standpoint and how that can really be something that negatively reflects upon this community. And it's like we're all trying to ascend, and in that ascension, that's when you know who you are, what you're capable of, what you can do, and then you go and do it. But if you don't know these things and you're getting set back by these false ideals or these false, perceptions on so-called magic or on witchcraft or on, all these things that are, taboo to you because you've been stuck in a paradigm of religion, then that's a problem. And I think,
yes, girl.
I think that's why it's really tough for a lot, especially Black folks. That's who I can speak for, is my community, Black folks. You know, and if it speaks to your community, so be it. But that's especially tough for us here in America to be able to connect with any African, like truly connect with what the principles are talking about, because we get stuck on, oh, this is deity, and that's what she worships, or that's who she's followed, she's a student of or a child of Oshun. That's what everybody says for
yeah, but
Beyonce.
they not learning about the Odu Ifa. The spiritual systems,
what it is all about.
All about, yeah,
it's not
exactly.
Just about this one deity
Speak
and
on
having
it,
that be your head, your crown, and all this other stuff. It's more than that, and that's for special announcement.
Hey guys, this is Amen. To contact me for any spiritual consultations, readings, tarot card readings, or spiritual cleansings, my email address is ljames269@icloud.com. Again, that's ljames269@icloud.com.
Amen. All of the African spiritual systems throughout the continent, not just talking about, Ifa, not just talking about Kemetic, not just talking about those, or the more popular ones. I'm talking about all throughout them. If you look at the ancient indigenous ones and go from the root and really stem to what they were truly, the true principle, what they were trying to get to, a life that they were trying to live, and something that they were trying to pursue, and something they also were trying to, tell us that it's more than just this. We're not just trying to brag about which deity crowns our head, which is not even the point. It's beyond that. And I think by them doing something like this and making it public, it's more trying to more of a scare tactic to scare people away, continue to scare people away from these, systems that we can go to that can actually help us ascend, that can help us get to our higher consciousness. And Christianity isn't doing it anymore, and we have to accept that and not be so like, I have to hold on to something, because really what we're holding on to is only pushing us more outward into the water, where we're not getting to solid ground. And it's like a buoy. It's like being out in the ocean on a buoy. Yeah, this is cool. I can survive. But I would much rather get to that damn boat where I can get to that land and get to something solid. And that's what I feel like it's slowly working on us as a scare tactic. More scare tactics to scare us away. Where this woman is probably trying to open up our minds to a deeper thought. And people have said that her videos, what she's done, the little things she's done here and there, has helped kind of open up people to viewing so-called witchcraft as maybe not such a bad thing.
Beyonce, yeah. Yeah, that's good, yeah. And then I just think, like, whatever resonates with you, like, it's for you, like, you get what I'm saying? Because, like, I know it's like a lot of mambos and hugans will tell you that, spirit chooses you. You don't choose this. Like, you don't choose voodoo. You don't choose that. It chooses you. Right. So if that's right for you, that'll be right for you. Yes. If whatever is right for you, it'll be right for you. So sometimes you don't have to go looking and extending yourself for anything else, because you already got what's right for you. Right. Sometimes we walk out of the wheel of our alignment of our destiny because we seeking something that we see somebody else is aspiring to see.
Amen.
So we can't always do it like that because we will walk right out of our alignment with our destiny based on somebody else. Right. So I always say what's right for you is right for you. Like, if that's what you want to be, then that's what you want to be. I don't knock you. If that's the path that's going to lead you to your connection and your utmost righteous self and your connection to the Most High, however you want to call him, whatever you want to name him, however you want to worship him, however you want to venerate him, however you want to do that. But just don't forget the ancestors. Like, that's all I'm going to tell you. Just don't forget your ancestors, because those are people that came before you. Like, our ancestors went through some stuff. Like, you get what I'm saying? And don't forget them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't, like, I get teary-eyed when I talk about it, because it's like, don't forget them, because, like, they went through rape and, like, the most horrifying childbirth, like, being close to death and all these different things that they went through, like all these horrific things. We know what they've been through. I don't have to like say it and stuff like that. We feel it in our spirit what they've been through. But that's what I'm saying. Just don't forget. Honor your ancestors, venerate your ancestors, call them up, build altars to them and stuff like that, and worship your gods the way that you want to worship them. But be true to yourself and true to your people. Make sure that your plight is the advancement of your people, and that you want to do right and the best thing by your people, that you're going to use whatever spiritual system or whatever way that you worshiping God to better yourself and your people around you. And that's how we gonna pull it together.
Amen.
Because everybody else, we do got ways that we can help one another, but we gotta stop saying okay, because that's what white supremacy has done for us too, and the white man has done for us too. Is divide. Divide means to separate. Separate. Demon comes from the word separate, demon and diabolical and stuff like that. So anything that separate us is the destruction to us right there. It's the separation. So when we say that, we Muslim and we this and we that and we Christians and we African spirituality, then one can say, I'm better than you and I'm better than you and I'm still black but I'm better than you. So that's the pull from the white supremacy hierarchy and stratification system. We don't need that shit. We need to say, I don't care if you Muslim, I don't care if you Christian, we black, and they're gonna look at us the same, and we need to push forward with that. Like, you get what I'm saying? Interfaith thing. Like, you get what I'm saying? And it's things that I can learn from the Muslim brother. It's things that I can learn from the Christian brother. It's things that I can learn from the African, the traditional African brother. It's things that I can learn from all these people, the Buddhist brother. Like, you get what I'm saying? And to become a better person in order to advance our plight.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, I say.
Because essentially that's what it is. It is whatever path you choose up the mountain. The whole point is to get up the mountain. Now, your side of the mountain may have a whole bunch of forest you got to go through. The side I chose might have came from the ocean, so I got to come from the island part or, the beach part to get up the mountain. So I got something else I got to deal with. Another person might have came up some river and found the mountain. That whichever way you came and had to come up the mountain, whatever story you have to tell at the mountaintop is your story to tell, and it is your truth, and it is your experience. But the whole point is to get up the mountain.
Get up the mountain.
So,
So, without further ado,
yes, we are done with Beyonce, I guess, and her witchcraft craziness going on, trying to shame her.
I think that poor drummer is trying to shame her, and I think I'm a little biased in this one too, as much but I do think that it's just not holding up. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's just not holding up.
Some weird shit going on. Some weird attacks, outward attacks. I feel like upon Beyonce, and it makes me wonder, what is Beyonce doing? Because she must be doing something great. That's usually when they want to come and attack folks. But in any case, Bill Cosby.
Getting on to Bill Cosby, Mr. Bill Cosby. So, as we all know, Bill Cosby was accused of sexual misconduct and sexual misappropriation with numerous amounts of women. He was tried and he was convicted and he was tried for it, and he was ultimately found guilty, and he was sentenced recently to 3 to 10 years in prison. So,
3 to 10 years.
Ashe, your thoughts, darling?
I don't know. I've always been kind of like passe on this. I never really cared from the beginning, and I know that a lot of people do care about the situation for various reasons. But I never had a strong feeling to care about this particular case. But it has brought up a few interesting topics from it that did kind of steer my attention. Like, some people brought up the fact that, it's another form of basically making the black man the scapegoat for
public lynching.
Yeah, public lynching for all of these things that's been going on in the entertainment industry. So not just talking about actors and movies and such things, but talking about music. We're talking about television. We're talking about all that media. It's been going on, and some crazy things been going on, to say the least. And so he's been a part of it, but so have a whole bunch of other people. And so it does call into question why these particular people have been the ones that have been called out specifically. And not just saying Bill Cosby, talking about Harvey Weinstein and all them. We know who they are. You know who they are. You can go down the list and of their names, But why these particular people? Because it's probably a whole bunch more than that. And these ones in particular are being called out. So what is their power moves or what is the real breakdown?
What is the motives,
of what that is.
So it's been talk surrounding this Bill Cosby stuff and stuff like that. And it's just like the public lynching. Wholesome Dad image was this play Dr. Huxtable in the 80s on the Cosby Show, which was an image of the black dad that was being changed on imagery on television, that's saying that, hey, the image of the black there is a black father. This is the image of him. He's not always on drugs. He's not always out of the house. He's not always the junkie on the side of the street that's left a child and stuff like that. This is the other side, America, of what you guys normally see and portray of the black dad on American television. So a lot of people were saying that this was a direct attack on that image, that this was a public lynching, and he's done so much for this and he's done so much for that. People also have rebuttals like, well, that's the dad that he played on television, but in real life he didn't really have a ploy or a plight and interest in the advancement of the black community and stuff like that, by the things that he would, by some of the comments that he would make, and so on and so forth. So it's been so, like you said, it's so many different interesting angles that's come out of this. I heard one person talk about how it's just a continuum of the image of the birth of a nation, the perpetual image that the black man is the predator and he is a danger to the white woman in society, and that this rape culture has to have a black face associated with it in order for it to thrive, in order for it to in order for people to pay attention to it, in order for people to get strengthier and healthier laws passed surrounding rape and things like that. But my thoughts about it. Bill Cosby should not have been raping hoes. That's all, girl. I'm sorry. I do apologize, listeners. And I think I just made a humorous joke out of something that's so heavy, and I don't mean to do that, and I'm not taking this light at anything. But he really shouldn't have been raping people, and that's it, and that's all. And if he was doing this, and my grandmother always say, what's done in the dark will come to the light, and I think I will have to bear my things that I've done in the dark as well. But when they come to the light, I'm gonna have to face them. But it's not my time yet. But we talking about Bill Cosby. But I'm just saying, like, if you was doing that to people, that was wrong. Like, if you was taking them and drugging them, if they was already, like, it's people that would, like, willingly do stuff with you. Like, they will willingly get it on with you. Like, you don't have to drug people. You're a celebrity. You're a comedian. Like, you don't have to do that. And that's why a lot of people, I think that's one of the things that are making people think, like, hey, this is a conspiracy theory, too. Like, this is a man of power and stuff, and he could have had any woman to lay down with him and stuff like that. So why would he have to be out there drugging people? But then there is a psychosis of predator. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, I do have power, but I do want to play this game of like cat and mouse and predator shit. But yeah, yeah.
It's a lot of questions in that case in particular. You know, like I said, they all have some dibble and dabble in some very sexual deviant activity. And why are these particular players not being exposed? Now, of course, we take into account the planetary action and energies that have been abound with us, especially when Jupiter first rotated into the sign of Scorpio, and we saw that huge explosion. And right before Pluto went into Capricorn, we saw that huge explosion of people being outed. That's why the Me Too movement became huge in the timing that it did. It was already a movement way long before it blew up. It just, that energy spun that, into a major player into the foreplay. And so I take that into account as to why a lot of people were being exposed. But when it comes to this particular industry, which is so heavily into the occult all the way around, we know this. So let's stop acting silly. If we know this, we know they're trying to put up certain protections. Of course, they can't get, through certain things. They're not that advanced. Shouldn't give them that much, credit. But wouldn't they see this coming? Yeah. So it's more of like, are they taking advantage of the situation to knock out a few of our big players? And because a lot of us aren't aware, as we should be, about these energies and about these rituals and these things that are happening and been happening. So since we aren't aware of it, that we're talking about Bill Cosby back in the day when he was younger. We're not talking about him now. He was doing this when he was younger. He wasn't aware of what he's probably aware of now as an 80-some-year-old man. I don't know how old he is, but I'm sure he's in his 80s.
Yeah, he's 80.
So we talk about an old man. He know a lot. He's been in the industry since his 20s. So he knows a lot. So, at this point in his life. But back in that time, come on now. Think of the average nigga you know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's Bill Cosby now. Right. I mean, not now, but at that point, just think of the average one you know. I got some money. I'm writing, good jokes. But, I might be a little bit conscious or whatever. What
they
we
didn't
call
have
woke.
to drug us.
You know what I'm saying? They
gave us like dysfunctional drugs. They didn't have to. They drug us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Then I start asking questions like they drugged us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, you talking about they drugged
Us? No. We never got drugged before.
So, in ending out with Bill Cosby, I want to know how many years will he serve, like actually serve in jail. Because we know his ass is up in there.
Yeah, and he been sentenced to, his time. So let's, okay.
And, for whatever reason. All right, how many years? 5 years.
5.
Well, what is his family going to be going through? I mean, I can imagine,
of his family.
How his family would feel about that and what have you. But is he going to be, what is that experience going to be like for the next 5 years for him? That's crazy. 5 years.
It says intellect too, so
and
it's
then
like
this is at the bottom.
Time to think, awareness, and intellect.
And it's 14. You add that together, it's 5. God damn. Yeah. That's gonna be tough on his family. I can just imagine.
Yeah. Chariot in reverse. Wow. So it's gonna be the support is going to wear and tear on them and stuff like that because this is a new experience and they used to live in like I don't want to say high on hog because that brings negative connotation, but these people that's come from an elite society, so prison is a new endeavor for them. So the prison life and understanding prison life is going to be wear and tear on a lot of their relationships, it's going to put a halt to their progression and they're moving forward and stuff like that. Camille is so used to living such a way and so used to living with Bill, and then when you lose somebody, it's that grief that goes along with it, and plus that you're trying to support them in their new lifestyle and their new environment. It's just not going to go well with the with the chariot in reverse and stuff like that.
Right. I can imagine. That's crazy that you pulled. Not crazy, but it's very interesting that you pulled that, especially when I just read that they were trying to, appeal it. So, imagine trying to be a lawyer trying to appeal that. You want to get your client out 1 to 2 years tops. You want to get them out quick. Can you imagine they're up in there for almost pretty much damn near half of their sentence? Because his full term is 10 years?
Yes.
So that's damn near half his sentence. So that's not victory at all.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Kind of think after a while, girl. So that's interesting. Well, it's not interesting because spirit. That's what spirit does. It like you were saying, it illuminates the truth and it gives the path and the path. Right. And this is his path right now. To spend time and behind those prisons. Behind those prison walls.
I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah,
why we keep laughing at
this shit? We keep laughing at all these serious situations. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
I guess
that's just the energy of it tonight. I'm sorry because it's not funny, but it's just like
it's like sometimes you just gotta laugh at this shit.
Yeah, because sometimes and black people we always make bad situations humorous.
Right, it is our habit. Yeah. Which is a good habit to have because not everything we got to be all, burdened down by bad feelings.
Yeah, that's
and, emotions and going through it. Like, nah, laugh that shit off.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Okay, say it again. Say it again. Well, we know his ass gonna be serving his time. Shit.
As they say, yeah. And he has definitely been convicted of doing the crime.
Definitely been convicted. Okay, and in the jailhouse.
Yeah.
Poor man. He ate. Ooh,
80 years old.
ooh. But oh well. I mean,
He didn't see the light of day at 85.
Is he 85?
No, I say
He's
he'll
80.
do-
So okay, yeah,
He'll
true.
do 5 years.
5 years. Well,
Well,
on to I guess this is the trending topics of the month so far at the ending of September. It really is the end of September.
the ending of September kicking in and bringing in October. Today is the 29th of September. And yeah, so yeah.
Do you want to pull a card for the full moon in Aries? We're still working in the energy.
Usher us in, yes. I can do that. As I tap the deck, I'm gonna shuffle in one time. You hear the sound of the shuffle. And
Now pull another one. To add a shade to your image.
full moon in Aries.
Oh.
Energy. Let's see. Abundance. This is abundance.
Amen.
Again, so I'm pulling.
Pull as many as you want to play, my brother.
So I put 3 cards, and my first card was the 6 of Pentacles. My second card was the 9 of Pentacles, and then my third card was the 2 of Swords and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
6 of Pentacles told me that the Aries moves brought up. There was an abundance.
Mm-hmm.
There was an abundance of abundance, basically, that happened, and it could have manifested in material abundance, or it could have manifested in emotional or intellectual, or not mental abundance, to where it put a lot on your mental or a lot on your emotional, and you received a lot emotional or mentally and stuff like that. Because a lot of people I was speaking to were saying that they were dealing with some things in this Aries and full moon, and it was heavy energy, whether it was like it's saying heavy them being blessed materially and financially with things that was coming their way, and things looking up, or things that was looking extremely down, or they was like you being fogged down abundantly with mental stress or with emotional baggage or anything like that. So what I'm saying with this Aries moon, it was a duality of energy basically. It brought either abundance of material and financial gain,
Right.
or it brought mental and emotional stress basically.
Amen.
So finding pinpointing which one it did for you at this point, and then addressing that mental and emotional strain or stress that it brought you, and knowing what to do, whether it's prescribing it with self-care, and or getting out into nature and just grounding yourself because you're feeling a little ungrounded, or if it's brought you material and financial wealth, whether you're going to save it or invest it, or what you're going to do with it, what the prescription for it basically is. That's what I see. That's what I get from spirit.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That really is. That's It is. That's truly what it's bringing in for a lot of people, a lot of growth. That's for sure.
I saw both energies with people that I came in contact with, people that I was having conversations with. I were either they were like really, really stressed out, or really, really up, and I was like, okay. It was almost like there was no in between, basically.
Yeah.
And And I think that's like almost the energy of Aries too. Like it's an excessive energy, basically. Like and it goes hard. Like it's that ram energy. It's gonna ram you hard.
Okay.
Hit you in your ass.
Get your point.
Yeah. it gets its point across.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a beautiful energy.
Yeah.
Especially if you know how to work
much
it through. Yeah, it is. And connected to Scorpio.
Oh.
Yes, you guys are. Well, Pluto is the new ruler, and Mars is the ancient ruler. Of both Scorpio and Aries.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oh.
Yes, but right now, modern day, Aries is ruled by Mars. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. But during ancient times, it's like forget that. And then what it really is just the split of the zodiac. It's 12, right, altogether. Mm-hmm. But it's a split, and the split is to represent the lower half and then the upper half or the higher half. Kind of like how Kemet was constructed, the lower and the upper. Neither one was better than the other one. They were both supposed to be equally conjoined together and working together,
they
united.
Both made one. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what the zodiac represents in each and every one of us. The united of all 12 signs. United energies of all 12 signs.
Alignment, alignment of the zodiac, alignment of our chakras, alignment of everything. Alignment.
All that.
Yeah.
So in ancient times, Scorpio and Aries, same planet, Mars, But then as we came to modern times, it spread out. Mm-hmm. But it's still a lot that share the same. But anyways, that's the end of our show. Yeah. So yes, that's the end. And we, of course, are so happy that you joined us. And we hope that you join us again for our next episode for our special Halloween.
Yes, thank you for tuning in, guys.
Peace.